my passionate and loyal Scorpio friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Scorpio, there's a strange stillness around you this week, as if you're holding your breath in the middle of a familiar room. You sense the weight of moments slipping by, not quite boredom, not quite frustration, a subtle ache that says something is missing, even when everything seems to be in its place. There's an undercurrent of dissatisfaction that you rarely show, a longing for something to break the monotony or deepen what's already here. You might find yourself glancing out of windows, letting your mind drift, wondering what's really waiting for you beyond the daily routine. It's not that you're unhappy. It's that you can feel the edges of what you want, pressing in from just beyond your reach. There's a quiet urge to retreat, to fold into yourself, to not have to explain why you feel both grateful and restless at the same time. You're listening for a sign, or maybe just a different kind of silence, one that feels like potential instead of pause. This feeling is captured by the 4 of Cups, which lingers in the air like a soft sigh. You drift between contentment and discontent, caught somewhere in the middle. On the surface, everything might look fine. People might even comment on how composed you seem. Underneath, though, you know you're living in the gap between what's offered and what you truly crave. Sometimes opportunities or invitations come your way, but you hesitate to reach for them. It's not always about the offer itself, it's about whether it resonates with you. You might notice yourself brushing off messages, ignoring calls, or letting texts go unanswered, not out of malice but from a sense that nothing feels quite right. You're waiting for something that stirs you, that meets you in the depths, that feels worth the effort of reaching out again. There's also a subtle protectiveness in your posture, Scorpio. You guard your energy, perhaps more than usual. You're aware of what drains you, who drains you, and you're careful to keep your distance, even if only emotionally. You're not in a rush to commit to anything new. At the same time, the world doesn't entirely stop for your introspection. You sense that if you pull back too far, you risk missing a small but meaningful shift. There's a quiet tension between your need for inner space and the possibility that something important is waiting for you just outside your comfort zone. It's a week where you might oscillate between wanting to be left alone and wishing someone would understand the complexity beneath your calm. This is not a crisis. It's more like a deep breath, a pause before something shifts. You're listening to your own silence, trying to discern whether what you're feeling is emptiness or simply space waiting to be filled. This quiet holding pattern isn't just a mood, it starts to shape the way you move through your days. When you sit with this inner stillness, the world around you seems to become a mirror, reflecting your own hesitations and yearnings back at you. As you hesitate, so do the opportunities. As you withdraw, so do the invitations. This is how one emotional season gives rise to the next. Your posture becomes the landscape through which your path unfolds. Out of this subtle standoff with your own desires, the week brings the energy of the moon. Here, the familiar gives way to something slightly uncertain, a soft distortion at the edges of what you know. You sense that there's more beneath the surface, hidden motives, unspoken feelings, things unsaid between you and others. It's not confusion exactly. It's more like walking through a landscape at dusk, where shapes blur and everything takes on a different meaning. There's an unsteady pressure to make sense of what's unclear, to fill in the blanks. You might notice yourself second-guessing decisions or wondering what you're missing in your relationships or routines. People's words may seem layered, as if there's another meaning underneath. The world feels less like a place of certainty and more like a series of open questions. This week, situations arise that don't have obvious answers. There's a sense that you're being nudged to look beyond the surface, to trust instincts instead of facts. This can bring moments of tension. Should you act, or should you wait? Should you ask the difficult question or let silence speak? The pressure builds not because of any one event, but because the unknown is pressing in on all sides. Even your dreams may become more vivid or strange, as if your subconscious is trying to hand you a map in a language you only half remember. There's momentum here, but it's not a straight line. It's the slow turning of tides, the feeling that something is shifting just out of sight. You may find yourself wrestling with doubts or old fears, wondering if you're reading too much into things or not enough. The friction isn't just external, it's within you, a tug between your desire for clarity and your willingness to sit with mystery. There's a subtle invitation to let things be unresolved for now, to allow questions to linger without demanding immediate answers. This can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're someone who likes to know where you stand. Yet, this is where the real movement happens, in the willingness to stay present with uncertainty rather than rush to conclusions. The moon's influence this week asks you to trust your own rhythms, even if they don't match the world's pace. In the midst of ambiguity, you are learning how to keep your own center, how to listen and move without needing every detail to be clear. When you meet this moment consciously, when you allow yourself to feel the discomfort of uncertainty without shutting down, something new becomes possible. Your potential opens with the Page of Pentacles, which brings a gentle invitation rather than a demand. If you let yourself be curious, even in the smallest ways, you may notice fresh energy returning. The Page of Pentacles doesn't promise instant results or dramatic breakthroughs. Instead, it suggests a kind of grounded exploration, a willingness to begin again with new eyes. This potential isn't about big gestures or sweeping changes. It's about quiet readiness, the kind that lets you notice details you might have overlooked before. You might find yourself drawn to learning something new or paying closer attention to an idea that's been hovering at the edge of your awareness. Small steps matter. There's value in humble beginnings, in testing the waters rather than leaping all at once. When you approach your week with this kind of gentle curiosity, you may discover resources within yourself that were hidden while you were waiting for something more exciting. Growth here is subtle and slow. It comes from being willing to ask, what if I try this differently? What if I see what happens when I show up, even if I'm not sure? The invitation is to engage with the world from a place of gentle openness, without pressure for immediate clarity or success. This is how the pause becomes a pathway, how uncertainty shifts into a new kind of knowing. Looking back across the week, the story of these three energies weaves together into something whole. Your initial restlessness, the sense of sitting with more questions than answers, wasn't a sign of failure or stagnation. It was the necessary pause that allowed deeper truths to surface. As the moon cast its subtle shadows, you learned to be at ease with not knowing, to let ambiguity shape you rather than threaten you. Out of this came a quiet readiness, an openness to new beginnings that don't need to be dramatic to be meaningful. The Four of Cups asked you to honor your own timing, to listen for what really matters. The moon showed you that clarity isn't always immediate, and that there's wisdom in allowing things to unfold at their own pace. With the Page of Pentacles, you find that even the smallest step taken with curiosity can open doors you didn't know were there. This week is not about resolving everything at once. It's about finding peace in the process, letting yourself be both cautious and hopeful, reserved and receptive. There's reassurance here. You are not lost, but quietly preparing for what's next. The stillness you feel is not emptiness, but space for new growth to take root. Actionable insights for Scorpio this week. Let a single quiet moment become a chance to notice what you feel without pushing it away. Try reaching out to someone just to share how your day is, even if you don't have much to say. Spend a few minutes exploring an idea that's been on your mind, just to see where it takes you. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I can trust my own sense of timing. My questions have value, even before answers arrive. I let small moments guide me gently forward. I am open to what unfolds when I listen deeply. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.